call me a god. You call me a god.
As being like a future monster, but honestly, it didn't really amount to much. So it sucks. He could have been something interesting. But before we talk about where he should go, I'm gonna let everybody else get their thoughts and opinions and where you think they should go, and and honestly also talk about, what do you think the WWE went wrong and what you think could have been their ceiling in the WWE. We'll start with Alex.
Okay, me first. Okay, sure. Commander Z's. I really never really thought a lot of him. He wasn't really like high on my radar. I mean, I kind of like what he did like back like with his little stint in NXT. But other than that, like he didn't really do a whole lot. Like what they kind of went wrong with him. They should have made him like a really dominant, big man. Like kind of like squashing people or like being someone's like. I mean, they did the like whole bodyguard type of gimmick, which we've seen that so many times.
Yeah.
And today's day in wrestling, it's not really all about the big man, because like if you can't move in the ring that well, if you can't, do like big high spots and stuff, like crazy flippity dippity stuff, like people love with the indies, then it's gonna be hard to survive in this day and age of wrestling. If you don't have those like big high spots, or if you're not like charismatic, in the ring, on, or like on the microphone and stuff, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like that, that's what lacked with him. He didn't really have that, good like in ring presence. He wasn't that great in the ring. He wasn't that good on the microphone as well. So I feel like that's what they kind of screwed up with him. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all, WWE. It was kind of the Commander Aziz as well. But
yeah.
What
about you, Hayden? What do you think about him?
Okay, in my opinion, I was honestly a really big fan of Raw Underground. I really liked Raw Underground, so seeing Dabba-Kato in Raw Underground, I was like, okay, this guy's he's pretty good. But outside of a scenario that's like Raw Underground-esque, I cannot see him in any like high caliber match inside of the actual ring. Just like Jug said, I mean, I didn't really see any skill apart from just being a big guy standing there trying to look menacing. I didn't like the Commander Aziz gimmick at all. I didn't like what they had him wearing. I didn't like him just following around Apollo Crews. Nothing really stood out to me about this guy. Not to knock him, because I'm sure he's really talented and in ways that WWE didn't quite let us see. But apart from him in Raw Underground, not really much stood out. It's just, I mean, not everybody's cut out for it. Not everybody's made for it. It might be one of those situations where maybe, this just wasn't what was right for him. Maybe the big time, the TV, maybe it just wasn't right for him. So I mean, yeah, cool guy seems like, but I didn't really vibe with him.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. Was like you said, it's not always about the big guys anymore. But if it does, you kind of need to kind of be able to get the crowd to care about you. You want to get them invested in you as much as possible, And I think for him, it was one of those things that he was lacking. He couldn't really have that charisma. And maybe sometimes, him having a mouthpiece could have been a solution to that problem, because we've seen people who haven't really had that charisma, but had like an X factor, whether it be a manager to do the talking for him. And he just pretty much deals with the in-ring work and stuff like that. So maybe that was something that could have been done. I feel like, like you said, Raw Underground was a great concept for what it was. I feel like when that was over, he shouldn't have just came up to the main roster. You could have just sent him down to NXT and helped him develop a little bit as a character, help him come with a character that would fit him, and then have him, do some feuds down there. Maybe win like a North American championship, or maybe an NXT championship, as far as even if he improved a little bit. But I don't think he should have been main roster right away. But when you look at the landscape for wrestling right now, and especially the way it is now compared to it was maybe like 10 years ago, it's so many more opportunities for a lot of these guys and girls to be able to make a name for themselves and kind of, get established as a wrestler. And maybe some things with him is he started out in the big leagues right away. Sometimes it's about starting in the smaller independents and kind of working your way up and building that fan base to get behind you to kind of rally for you in the WWE. And he didn't have that. So when you look at these different, companies they can go to, I don't think he's going to come back to WWE. I don't think he's going to go to AEW. I would love to see him in Impact, but I don't think he's going to go there either. New Japan, I don't think so. Honestly, if I'm looking at these right here, I'd say he maybe go to MLW. Because imagine him being like this monster character just going around causing havoc on everybody. I think that's a character I can honestly buy into. Like he doesn't talk. He just pretty much just beats the crap out of everybody. He pretty much just causes attack wherever he goes, whether it's a live event, causing havoc. TV, causing havoc. Pay-per-view, he does the same thing.
I would think, in my personal opinion, I would put him in the indies. I just have him
Yeah.
put him in the indies, instead of a specific company like MLW or GCW. I'd be interested. GCW would be an interesting place for him.
I don't want to see him doing death matches. This man is gonna no.
That'd be because he kind of had with that picture there. He kind of has a hardcore.
He has that
match.
deathmatch vibe, yeah, with the t-shirt, yeah. What about you, Hayden? Where do you think he should go?
I mean, if you had a category that said nowhere, then I definitely say that one.
Yeah, I wish I was about to say.
I can actually add that. Honestly, I can really add that.
Honestly, because not all of these people are gonna go somewhere. Some of them may go to school. Some of them may become accountants somewhere. Some of them may pursue a dream of having a farm at home. And that's something that I see for the Dabba-Kato. I don't see him. I don't really see him going anywhere else. But I mean, if I had to pick one of the promotions that you had originally,
I mean,
honestly, if I'm okay, well, I would say put him nowhere then.
Yeah, that's what I would say too.
Yeah. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere. The next one. This was a very shocking one because I have been a fan of him. We've talked about him in our last video. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler being released had to be one of the biggest shocks that came out from these past releases. At this time in his career, he really wasn't doing much. He kind of was just like a utility player. He was just there. He's never got to really, get to his full potential like we all know he could have been. If we're being honest, he should have been a WWE champion. You could have had him become a WWE champion in 2017. I'm always going to stand by that. If we had Jinder Mahal be a WWE champion in 2017, there was no excuse that Dolph Ziggler could not be a WWE champion. But I will say he is definitely somebody I could see going out wherever he goes, and he is going to make some noise. I think he could honestly do the Zack Ryder route and probably go on the indies and do a lot of great work. I can see him even signing with AEW just because his brother is there. They can have a tag team going after have them go after the tag titles. He could be a great addition to Impact because he could be a great addition to that X Division title scene, or be like that big name in the world title scene to kind of get more fans invested into Impact. He has a lot of options compared to someone like a Dabba-Kato. You can honestly agree with that. But honestly, if I have to pick somebody where you could go, I think maybe AEW. But before I pick anything, we're going to let Hayden start, and then we'll go with Jugs.
Okay. I have a very strong opinion when it comes to Dolph Ziggler. He is arguably one of the most talented people that have ever stepped foot into a WWE ring. Generational talent, someone that, while people can argue he had his time, he was a world heavyweight champion. The whole NXT stint
that was
he
criminally
had.
under he did not hold it that long, and
True.
Unfortunate for his with his concussion and stuff. Alberto Del Rio,
and it wasn't right. That wasn't done right by him. He had his little NXT stint or whatever, but apart from that, I do also agree that he should have been a WWE champion. Many years in the business, and due to those many years, I don't see him jumping ship. I think he's going to go back to WWE. I think they're going to rehire him.
You think he's gonna go back to WWE?
I think he's going to hold out, and I think they're going to rehire him. I don't really see him other than AEW, like you said, with his brother being there. I don't really see him going anywhere else because I mean, he's a huge name. You know, you could argue and be like, well, Zack Ryder went to the Indies, he did this and this and this, but Zack Ryder wasn't Dolph Ziggler. You know, Dolph Ziggler, he's on a different level overall. So I think he's just going to hold out. I think WWE is going to get him back, and I think it's going to lead somewhere.
I can see him. I can see it happening. I feel like if there's anybody on this list that could go back to WWE, it is Dolph Ziggler. I think it's Dolph Ziggler. But you say he's going to go back to WWE. Jugs, where do you think he's going to go?
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. I mean, you guys say, he's great in the ring. He's one of the best sellers. Like I love.
Oh, easily.
Like he's he has like a little bit of Shawn Michaels in him, a little like Billy Gunn in him, when he did his like famous and stuff. So he has a lot of different like wrestlers like wrapped up into him, which is really good. Great worker in the ring. I wish, like you guys said, I wish he had a WWE title run. And then his NXT thing was pretty cool, but like he's a veteran in this, in WWE. And I agree with Hayden. I think that he could end up going, back to WWE. I don't think he'll end up in like AEW because, I mean, yeah, his brother's there, but like that roster, like
that roster is kind of loaded. They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
And the thing is with AEW is like a lot of these people who go to AEW is they have a great debut, but right after that, they're pretty much just a regular on Rampage.
Yeah,
they're not really on
just
Dynamite like that. They're just there, or if they can't find anything for them, they'll put them in Ring of Honor, and they're down there for a little bit. So it's pretty much just like a rotating roster. They can't find anything permanent for them to do like on a week-to-week basis. So I think someone like a Dolph Ziggler definitely deserves to be a main focus wherever he goes. So you guys convinced me. We're going to put him back in the Fed, aka WWE. He's going back to WWE.
He's going back to the Fed.
He's going back to the Fed. Maybe this time they'll get it right. Maybe with Vince gone or whatever, Triple H could probably find something substantial for him, whether it's a mid-card role or a WWE championship. Even if it's a transitional run, at least let him get the hold of the WWE championship, honestly.
Before he retires, because I definitely think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday,
Oh, easily.
He's definitely deserving of it. Yeah.
The next person, one half of the former Maximum Male Models, Massey, a.k.a. Mace from Retribution. Man, this man went from D.O. Madden on commentary to being Mace in Retribution to being Massey. So many crazy characters, but none were able to stick. Honestly, but I feel like if we're talking about him going as a singles competitor, I would put him in nowhere. But I think him and Mansoor could be a tag team and add something, have something. I think they have something that they could offer as a tag team going forward. And I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. But before I say where they're going to go, we're going to start with Jugs and then Hayden and then myself. And we're going to talk about where we think he could go. Or should we actually, put Massey and Mansoor as a tag team, have them be a both of the pick?
What do you think?
Because I think he's going to be a tag team. I think they're going to be a tag team. I don't think they're going to be singles competitors.
I think if they go anywhere, it's also going to be as a tag team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think they should go to Impact. Have them, because Impact has a diverse amounts of characters, and I think with a lot of the characters that they have, they could be a tag team that could honestly stand out in that division. And they do have one of the best tag team divisions right now. Honestly, their tag team division is far leagues better than WWE and AEW. AEW doesn't really have like a tag team division anymore. They just have it's pretty much the WWE women's tag team titles all over again. But we're not going to talk about that one. But I think they're going to go to tag team to Impact. What about you, Jugs? Where do you think they're going to go if there's a tag team?
You definitely sold me on that because I don't like I said, I don't see him going to AEW. New Japan, I don't
No,
know. It's like I don't see that happening.
maybe
NWA,
NWA
mm,
because NWA
I-
doesn't really have anybody right now besides EC3.
NWA. Like I haven't, to be honest, I haven't watched NWA for so long.
I
And
watched a
then
little bit.
I heard like they got their TV deal taken away from them.
Yeah, because one of the people was trying to do cocaine on live television.
Yeah, I saw a report about that. So Jeepers, like NWA, what is he
Oh
doing?
man.
MLW, no, I don't see him there. Yeah, Impact, I've definitely put him in Impact.
What about you, Hayden? Do you think they're gonna go to Impact
Um,
or TNA?
I agree with TNA. I mean, like you said, NWA. You're saying they don't really have anybody, but you think if they don't have anybody, you think the people they're going to be gunning after is Mason Mansoor. I mean,
That is
uh,
true.
but definitely as a tag team, they can probably carry on the whole Maximum Models gimmick just with a different name,
Yeah.
because that's gold. People loved it. I loved it. So if they're able to continue something like that, they can definitely just pave a path in whatever promotion they go in. But yeah, I agree with TNA 100%.
Yeah, I think that definitely adds something to the tag division and Impact. The next person was another big name released. Was very shocking. I think this was like the last release that they did announce, and that is Matt Riddle. Honestly, I think he can go to a numerous amounts of promotions. I think the thing with him is he needs to get healthy first, because with all the issues that he's had in WWE and all the many chances that they gave him, he could have been a main event player. It just all the allegations and stuff like that, and the numerous amounts of trouble that he kept getting into, it kept derailing his push time and time again, to the point where he became like a CM Punk type of deal, because it was like it was always a PR problem. Like they don't want to put that on UFC or WWE. But he's a great wrestler. I might put him in AEW or Ring of Honor.
Hmm.
I'll let you guys talk about that and I'll be right back.
All
Hey,
right.
no, I'll let you discuss Matt Riddle next here. Yeah.
Okay. Matt Riddle, very, very touchy subject. Me personally, I am nowhere near a fan of Matt Riddle. I'm not a fan of his work. I'm not a fan of his matches. I'm not a fan of anything that he's done apart from RK Bro with Randy Orton. And that's only because Randy Orton. And it seemed like everything Riddle was trying to do was trying to get Orton to crack. Um, Not a really big fan of Matt Riddle, but like Leo did say, I could see him going pretty much anywhere on this list. I mean, I can't deny the fact that he's a good in-ring competitor. He does have some skill. Um, I don't know. I mean, if he does wrestle again somewhere, I could say maybe AEW, but that's probably the only place I could see him wrestling again. So if he doesn't go to AEW, then I would say nowhere. I think he could probably he kind of seems like an entrepreneur type. He seems like he could probably start up a business selling something or
selling
the,
something there.
yeah,
I
selling a
mean,
little something or something like that. So
I literally just heard a rumor. I don't know if it was a rumor, but I think it was something that he was talking about. Matt Riddle was considering starting an OnlyFans.
okay, well there you go. That's
Well,
something I
there
was
you go.
thinking.
He gonna be making money,
something
but
I
was
wasn't
thinking.
expecting that, but
you know what I think would be a great fit for him? But I don't think they're gonna sign him, because New Japan ain't playing that. I was gonna say New Japan, but New Japan ain't gonna be going for none of that. I don't even think he can
No
smoke
way.
whatever. He cannot. He can't. MLW I think, will be a great concept in a sense, or a GCW. I would say Ring of Honor, honestly, if you were to put him on a brand, if he's not gonna be on AEW.
and to be honest, Ring of Honor really hasn't been headlined.
They don't have anybody.
Like that's true.
He could be somebody that could add something to them, or at least make it somewhat watchable.
Like maybe okay, if Matt Riddle, if he gets healthy and he stays off the the green stuff, if he gets healthy and does all that,
Well,
then
he
maybe
is.
I could see him going back to the Fed.
Where did you hear what it was already confirmed next year? I think in March he's having a one-on-one match with RVD next year.
You know
Is he?
what? I
He is.
New Japan would be a great place to have him because he has that like type of strong style, kind of like background a
Yeah.
little bit, and like with his like whole like kind of like MMA training and all that. And so he kind of does have a little bit of that, and I think he would fit in great with a lot of the New Japan wrestlers. You know, and like the way he wrestles barefoot. I don't
Him
know.
versus Will Ospreay would be great.
Also, Will
Man.
Ospreay. I'm wondering where he's gonna sign. Like, if he's gonna sign with AEW, is he gonna sign
He's
with
signing with
WWE?
WWE. I'm calling it. If it's not WWE, he's going to Impact.
Impact.
If he-
He needs that. If he gets signed with Impact, that'll be a huge get for Impact. I mean, he's not gonna be getting paid. Like you know, nobody's gonna be getting paid.
Well, he
that-
might go to WWE because his wife is there.
That's true. I think Impact would be like if he wants to be like big world champion and stuff, and then after his after he gets done with his contract, then hey, if he wants to go WWE, then eventually go there. But we're not talking about Will Ospreay right now. We're talking about Matt Riddle. I'm going to say New Japan. I'm going to say New Japan. Why not? I'm going to be different. Say New Japan.
New Japan it is. He is going overseas. The next one was one of the first to be released. Mustafa Ali. Now, this guy is a victim of stop and start pushes. He was a big thing on 205 Live. I was a big fan of him seeing it, and I always was rooting for him to win the Cruiserweight Championship, but he never did. He got moved to SmackDown and beat Daniel Bryan, who was then WWE Champion. And I was like, okay, he beat a former WWE Champion. They're on to something. And apparently he was going to be Daniel Bryan's opponent at WrestleMania, but then he got injured and was not able to make the chamber. So Kofi Kingston stepped in. Kofi Mania became a thing. And he pretty much came back a few weeks after. He wasn't able to kind of get back in the groove of things. Then he had a shot of winning Money in the Bank. And actually, he was penciled in to win Money in the Bank. And it was confirmed. He was winning Money in the Bank. But when it was announced that when Brock kind of got a hold of WWE or Vince changed it right there and there. Is right before Mustafa went out. He was told he was not winning Money in the Bank anymore because it was going to go to Brock. And that sucked. Like, this man could have been a WWE champion. And I feel like, honestly, if he was a WWE champion, he would be in a much bigger position than he is now. I really do. Like, he could have been a mid-card champion at least. But the thing that in all the years he's been there, he's never managed to pick up a title whatsoever. He's never managed to pick up a tag title, mid-card championship, or anything. And it sucked, man. I feel like he could have been a great champion if given the chance, or been a bigger, feature on Raw or SmackDown, wherever he was going to be on.
I thought they could have gave him the North American Championship when he was doing his.
He was supposed to win, but he got released right before it, man. Where do you guys think he's going to go? I feel like maybe he would be a great addition for the X Division title team and Impact. I can also see him going to AEW, honestly, because I think he would have some great matches over there.
I think AEW would be the place where I would put him. AEW or Impact, I don't know. I'm kind of
because Impact, he would be a great. Think about the people he can face over there in Impact right now. Him versus Leo Rush would be great. Him versus Trey Miguel would be great. If he wanted to go up against that world championship, him versus Josh Alexander would be great. Like that, those matches would be top tier, must see any day of the week. People are going to want to tune in because that match would be great. AEW, I really feel like if he's in AEW, I really don't see a big ceiling for him, honestly. I really don't.
Maybe Ring of Honor. I mean, he could have, maybe.
If he's in Ring of Honor, yes, but AEW is pretty much Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor is part of AEW, so he's going to sign to both. I think he goes to Impact, though. I think maybe Impact.
Mustafa Ali, people definitely need to give him his credit before, he pops off wherever he goes, because this dude, just like Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, he's a generational talent. He's really, really good. I've been a fan of Mustafa Ali for a while. I honestly liked Retribution when that first started. So,
yeah.
I know. I mean, Mustafa Ali being the leader of Retribution, I thought that could have led at least to a mid-card title run. Um, Honestly, I see Mustafa Ali going to the Indies. I see him just going to a couple different indie promotions. I can see people sealing him for their shows and announcing and drawing a good crowd because indie fans know how good wrestlers are, even if they weren't top stars in their promotion. So I could definitely see him going across multiple different indie promotions. I honestly, it's hard for me to see Mustafa Ali getting signed to a big company like AEW, for example, possibly Impact. But me personally, I would say the Indies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's a good.
you're swaying me towards Indies now. Yeah, I'll say Indies as well.
Okay, he's going to the Indies. I mean, he can build up a buzz for him. Most definitely, he can build up a buzz going to these
Of
different
course.
promotions and shows. And then when he does get signed, people are going to have a big buzz for him. The next one, Rick Boogs. I'll say this: he has the physique that Vince loved for and stuff like that. I just feel like he had charisma. I just feel like the promos was lacking. He was decent in the ring. He had a in-ring presence. He had the physique and everything. I think he had the majority of the things that you needed to be a star. Honestly, if you were to look at these different promotions, I think maybe an NWA would be a king to sign him because he could still do like that guitar gimmick if he wanted to, and NWA would like be able to cater to that type of stuff. What about you, Jugs? What do you think about him? And honestly, what do you think he could have been if he was still in WWE? What do you think his ceiling could have been? Do you think he could have been a potential main eventer? Do you think he would have been a potential U.S. or Intercontinental champion? What do you think?
I mean, I don't think he would have been a main eventer if he was still in WWE, but definitely maybe an IC or US champion. I mean, he had the pretty good physique about him, but like outside of the stuff he did with like
Shinsuke,
Shinsuke and stuff, I didn't really care a lot about him. And when he had that injury, when was it? It was back at like WrestleMania 38 when he tore his what did he tear? What
I
was
think
his,
it's quad.
Yeah, I
yeah, he
think it was a
tore his
squad.
when he like tore his quad. Yeah, that was terrible. But to be honest, I would say nowhere, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, that's how I'm feeling. I would say nowhere.
You think he's gonna go nowhere?
Yeah. What about you,
What about
Hayden?
you, Hayden? What do you think do you think he could go in any promotion?
Like Jug said, he definitely wasn't on track to become any kind of a main eventer, in my opinion. A missed opportunity that I wish they could have held out on. I would have loved to see Rick Boogs in the Alpha Academy. I really think that would be a good fit. I mean, you got the cheerleader, you got the coach, you got the dude that's getting coached. Now you got Akira dancing. All you need is someone to play the music for Akira.
Hey,
I
you
could
got a
have
whole band
definitely
right there.
seen. I
Yeah,
could have definitely seen Rick Boogs in the Alpha Academy. I wish they would have held out on that. But
Honestly,
apart
if you
from
didn't do
that,
that,
no.
I
Apart from
mean,
that,
you got a
no.
point. You do have a point. If they weren't going to do anything on the main roster, I feel like he could have been a little bit more interesting being back down in NXT. I know he spent a lot of time there originally, but I think he would have been something interesting in NXT. You could have had him become a North American champion, honestly, at least. I think if he signs anywhere, I think maybe NWA. I think maybe an NWA or a MLW could potentially sign him.
I'm thinking nowhere apart from if by some weird miracle he goes back to WWE and gets in the Alpha Academy. That's the only thing I see
No,
for him.
bro.
I mean, I think that would fit him. That's pretty interesting to me. But other than that, like Jug said, I don't think I don't really see him anywhere.
Okay, know where it is. The next one, Riddick Moss, aka Mad Cat Moss. Now, this guy, in my opinion, he had potential, and Paul Heyman was definitely backing him and wanted him to push him to be a main eventer, but everybody else wasn't seeing it. Honestly, the only thing he really was known for is being, besides doing that 24/7 stuff, was pretty much doing the stuff with Baron Corbin. And after that feud, it really didn't go anywhere. He was just a generic baby face. Nobody really cared.
He won
It seemed like
a
they were going somewhere when he
Andre
turned
the
heel.
Giant, Andre the Giant Battle Royal, right? Did he win one
Yeah,
of
oh
those?
yeah, that too. And he won that battle royal to the two
But
different
that
battle
literally
royals.
gives you that battle royal is a joke.
Yeah, he
That
won.
gives you
He
no.
won
It
that
could be
battle royal,
something if they let it be.
and then he won a different battle royal to get him a qualified for Money in the Bank in 2022. But outside of that, he hasn't really done much. Since he's gone Raw, he hasn't made any appearance whatsoever. But I feel like wherever his wife goes, I think he's going to be right behind her.
Who's his
I
wife?
know for a fact that Saraya has been trying to get Tennille Dashwood, aka Emma, into AEW. So I would think if she's going to AEW, then he would have to be going with
They're
her
married
unless he
in real
decides to
life.
go. They are.
I never
They
know
are.
that.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know that.
That's
But
news to me. I'm
honestly,
like, who's his wife? What are you talking about?
but it's with the women's division right now. I think she's wherever he's gonna go, she's gonna go. So for him, I'm gonna say he goes to Impact. I think he could be something interesting in Impact or maybe an NWA under Billy Corgan. I don't know. I feel like he's not gonna go to like a big promotion like an AEW. I think he's gonna go to like some of the smaller promotions or stuff like that. I wouldn't say necessarily he's not gonna go anywhere. I just don't think it's gonna be a big promotion right now.
To be honest, I think that he might end up on the Indies, same
The
like kind of
Indies.
like Mustafa Ali, because I don't think like maybe he wrestles on the Indies for a while and then he can get signed somewhere. But I think the Indies might be a safe bet for him as of right now.
Yeah. What about you, Hayden? Do you think he'll go to the Indies?
I mean, I think Riddick Moss looks like he sells car insurance, so I wouldn't be surprised.
and
I wouldn't be
nowhere.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes nowhere and he like just gets a job as like a salesman somewhere. You know, a lot of wrestlers take that path. You know, they get done with this part of their life and then they're like, "Well, I sell insurance now." And he looks like he could sell insurance. I mean, he just looks like
he
one
looks
of
like
those
he
guys.
could sell a car.
He does.
You
That's
was
what I'm
gonna
saying.
car.
That dude's gonna sell a mean car, bro. That's what I'm saying. Maybe a one-off appearance at indie shows here and there. So I'd say indies.
Okay. He's gonna go to the Indies. But I can't say the same for his wife, who we're about to talk about. Tennille Dashwood, man, what they did to her was dirty. She literally, the day she got released, she literally said, "We're talking about promoting." She was promoting Elimination Chamber, which was going to be in Australia, which she is from. And as soon as she put that tweet up, a couple minutes later, she got the call and got released. And she put up a tweet. She says, "Oh, never mind, I got released."
Never mind.
Never mind, I got released.
But I think she would be okay if she went to AEW. But the thing is, the
That
only way
women's
she would probably
division.
get somewhat over is if she's pretty much part of the Outcast, and Outcast looks like about to break up soon. So with the women's division they have, they're not gonna do too much with her. She might be pretty much like on Rampage or maybe like a few appearances on a Dynamite or something. Me personally, I say she go back to Impact because she did great in Impact. She was doing some of the best work of her career in Impact, and I think she should go back there.
I kind of wish you had this another category on here for like the women here is stardom. Because
we can make another section for that.
I mean, we don't have to make another section because I don't know, but kind of speaking of stardom, that would be a good company.
Or Women of Wrestling.
Or WOW, which is also on the CW channel. Which NXT is going to the CW next year in 2024 in October. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, because she did have that pretty good stat in Impact Wrestling. I wouldn't mind seeing her go back to Impact.
I think she should. I think
that Knockouts division is really good.
Oh man, their women's tag team division is good. Their Knockouts division is great. It's very great.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning. I mean, yeah, I'm leaning towards Impact here. Yeah.
What about you, Hayden? Where do you think she is going?
I'm very I'm very uninterested in Tennille Dashwood.
Hot take.
I really couldn't care if she went nowhere. I think the peak of her career personally was when she was coming out doing this.
Oh, with
With
the
the
stuff with
bubble?
You know,
Santino Marella.
yeah. I
Wait,
mean,
but
I
Santino's
think
in Impact right now.
Wait, was
true.
she
I mean,
doing? Oh yeah, she was doing thing with Santino.
I
Yeah,
could see the impact thing, but I'll vote out on this one. I'll leave it up to y'all because I have zero interest.
I mean, we'll put her at TNA, Jug, since we kind of said her going to TNA.
yeah.
The next one we got to talk about
Oh god.
Shanky.
Oh god.
Shanky.
Do we have to talk
Can,
about
can,
it?
can
Do
I
we have
can I
to?
can we just say no, or can we all say in
Yeah, can we
agreement
just
nowhere?
agree and skip this?
I'm sorry, man. He was funny when he did the dancing with
He's
Samantha
like the
Irving.
He's like the great Khali. Actually, the great Khali had more
Khali
charisma
had more
than
success.
him.
This man was a world champion.
Yeah, Great Khali holding the
Yeah.
world title upside down. Yeah,
The next
Shinky.
one,
Sorry, Shanky. Sorry,
we'll
Shanky.
get past that one. That was a quick one. For
He looks
everybody.
like a guy like he'll be talking on the phone like with the guy like, oh, your car insurance is out of out of date.
That's what I'm
I'm like, oh, like you got someone's trying to get your money out of your bank account. I feel like he'd be something like that. Do something like that. Trying to scam you or something.
Yeah. The next one we got to talk about Shelton Benjamin. Now, I think for me, I think he could be like a veteran in AEW, like a veteran, because he could help a lot of these younger talent kind of develop and kind of be, used in that type of role where he's pretty much helping the younger talent. He wrestles and stuff like that. I think even when he got released, AEW was very keen on trying to sign him. And he can do a lot in New Japan even too, because I think he would do some great work in New Japan as well. So if he's signed to AEW, he could still have some dates where he just works a New Japan show or something. So I would say he goes to AEW or Ring of Honor.
I mean, yeah, he did have a little stint with Ring of Honor. I would say AEW as well. Because
What about you, Hayden?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can
you.
hear
Yeah, we could hear you good. Can you hear it? Can you hear us?
Yeah. I think Shelton Benjamin's going to retire. How old is he actually?
Let me check. I think he's still in his
Gotta be
40s.
Got to be like mid to late 40s, right?
I mean, people are still going at later on in their careers, honestly.
He is
He's 48.
48, yeah. I think he's kind of getting towards the tail end of his
Okay, well,
career.
you see what they did with him. He was gone for a very long time, and then they started showing the return packages on SmackDown, and then they brought him back, and then he was gone for a
He
while,
didn't
and then
do
he was back
anything.
again. And
Then the Hurt Business happened.
the Hurt Business. I think that's a pretty good note to go out on. If I was Shelton Benjamin, I would just take the last run I had within the Hurt Business. I would ride off into the sunset on it because I mean, dude, he's got to be well off, and he seems, apart from just wrestling, he seems like a very smart person as well. So he's probably set in whatever path he chooses. I don't see him wrestling in another company, honestly. I really don't.
So you say nowhere.
Yeah, I say nowhere in terms of retirement.
Okay. What about you, Jugs? Do you think he'll sign anywhere, or do you think he's going nowhere?
I mean, I was kind of leaning towards AEW, but
I mean, he could still be part of AEW, but not be a wrestler. He could be like a talent recruiter or something, or have like a backstage role.
Yeah, or he could have a trainer role or a coach or
Yeah, he could.
yeah,
Be
I'm
like
gonna say AEW, like Flash Ring.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go to AEW too. He's not gonna probably be a wrestler though. Oh,
or
boy,
maybe
gonna...
he could be like he could like what RVD does. He could be like that legend and stuff there because
exactly.
Tony Khan has been kind of pulling the Vince McMahon as of lately. Bringing some guys that are like past their prime back.
Well,
like Ric Flair.
Well
past their prime.
Easily. The next one we got to talk about, Block Dollar, aka Top Dollar.
Flop
Hit
dollar.
Row.
I mean, do we have to say any more about him? Like, he could just go make.
I mean, the only thing I would say is if he goes to AEW, the only thing I could see him doing is being like an extra sidekick to Swerve Strickland or something. Be like an extra body or something,
That's interesting.
like a bodyguard
yeah,
for him or something.
that does seem interesting with the Mogul Embassy.
Yeah, I could see him being part of that.
Yeah, that's interesting, but I think he, and I don't want to diss him too bad because I know he's a really big Bray Wyatt fan. We got to stick together out here. But I think that he has a really big ego, and I don't think that he could settle for just coming in somewhere to be a little bodyguard for somebody. I've heard stories of him having a lot of backstage heat with a couple
Yeah,
different
he's had a
people.
lot of heat for sure.
Not sure if he has attitude problem. Another thing, did Ashante the Adonis get released as well?
No, just him. Just Top Dollar.
Okay. Well then, I don't see Top Dollar going anywhere.
Yeah, me either. I don't
I
really
think
see him
at
going
best he's
anywhere.
a sportscaster or something. Like they would have like a
Yeah,
You
something
know,
like that, maybe.
that show we used to do. It was like on A&E. What was it? What was that show called? Like the Hidden
The most
Treasures,
valuable treasures or
Most
whatever.
Valuable Treasures. Yeah, like
Something like that.
I kind of enjoyed when he did that. So
That was
maybe
cool.
if they bring him back, like if they want to have him, if they do that show, do something like that, like documentaries and stuff, have him be
True.
like a person, like a narrator, or be someone talking about it.
True, because he was good at that. He played that part really
He was a
well.
good
He was
talker.
good at.
Very real.
He's a
Yeah.
really good talker. I don't see much in the ring. I'm not a big fan in the ring.
Yeah, when he
So
botched
just
that
like
movie,
Jug
it was
said,
over.
just
When
like
he
Jug
botched that
said, I
movie, it was
mean, I
over.
agree with him.
I'm gonna say nowhere.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go nowhere. Elias, man, I feel like he could have.
You know what WWE stands for? Walk with Elias.
Honestly, I could see him continue wrestling. I think he's gonna go to NWA. I think NWA would be okay picking up a guy like him. He's kind of know the ropes a little bit. He would add a little bit to the division, whatever he does. I think he either does Indies or he goes to NWA. I think NWA.
I could see NWA there. I mean, he kind of has that kind of like that old school, type of, and like old school wrestlers like have for NWA, like because James Storm was there at one point, EC3's there and stuff.
And he's their world champion.
Who else? Tyrus is over. Did I freeze?
Well, he was there.
Yeah, can you guys still hear me? Hold on.
Yeah, I
can
can
hear you.
Just
You're
froze a
frozen
little
up.
bit.
Hold on. I'm talking, but I'm not moving.
He's stuck in the Matrix.
I'm stuck in the Matrix right now.
We've said too
See,
much.
you know who's doing this to me? I'll tell you who's doing this.
The SmackDown hacker.
No, it's who's on this roster who he said from nowhere. I'm gonna say Shinky. Shinky, why are you doing this to me? I'm frozen.
I think he goes to NWA though.
Yeah, NWA, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. He does have the old school feel, like you guys said.
Yeah, he does. I don't know why she's not on the list, but Aaliyah was supposed to be on this list. If Aaliyah was here, I'd say she does Indies, but she's not on here.
I say nothing.
Dana Brooke. Now, I'll say this: Dana Brooke worked extremely hard in WWE. Everything that she was given, she tried to make the best out of everything. And the fans never, she's never been given a chance to do much of anything. And the crazy thing is she's been in the company for 10 years. She's been in WWE for 10 years. And she's never had a shot at the NXT Women's title, the Raw title, or the SmackDown Women's Championship. She hasn't challenged for any of those titles in her 10-year career. And she only held that 24/7 championship. And, she wanted to do big things with it. She wanted it to become a mid-card title for the women, but she got denied. And it sucked. And she went back to NXT, and she was getting used frequently. She was getting used in storylines. She was about to turn heel in NXT and have a feud and probably even start her own faction in NXT. So when you look at a lot of the places where she could end up going, I think she would be a great addition to Impact because I think Impact, and I think they've already been saying that they're probably going to end up signing her because they already have like a storyline planned for her is to have her face Mickie James and have her be the one to defeat Mickie James and retire her. That's going to get her heat because people love Mickie James. Imagine, well, no matter what you may think about Dana Brooke, she gives it her all, whatever she's given. You can't deny her work ethic. You can't deny her will to want to be better and want to be the very best at what she does. So I would have to say Impact for her. Because she even said, I think somebody even in our group chat that I'm in had reached out to, like, she did like a Q&A session. And they asked her, will she continue wrestling? She says she's going to continue wrestling. And she says she doesn't plan on hanging up the boots anytime soon. I don't think her going to AEW would make sense. She's definitely going to be on Rampage. She's not going to probably win a title there.
I mean, if she did with the AEW, she could win the TBS championship.
Yeah, but you know how those fans are. They're not going for it. The way the fans are, they're not going to go for it. New Japan, maybe because she kind of is training. She has a little boxing background a little bit too. NWA, she would be a great addition because they only have 5 women on their roster for the women. They have a women's tag title down there in NWA and a women's championship. And if she goes to Impact, she could have a great feud with Trinity because the last time they faced was in WWE, and Dana Brooke beat Naomi when they were in WWE together. So there is that story there that you could continue. And think of all the people that she could feud with. You could see her going up against a Jordan Grace, a Giselle Shaw, a Tasha Steelz, a Deonna Purrazzo. Those are great feuds for her. So I think Impact will be the best option for her. Yeah, I don't think she really cares about money too much. I think she made so much money in the 10 years that she was there in WWE. So I think she would go to Impact and help own her skills. And I think when you think somebody, we talked about Cody Rhodes, he pretty much betted on himself. He really didn't amount to much of anything in his first tenure in WWE, but he went outside on the indies and betted on himself, went to Impact. He went to Ring of Honor, and he built AEW. They came back bigger than ever. I think Dana Brooke is somebody I feel like can go to an Impact and rebuild her image and come back to WWE in a couple years and be a bigger star than she was when she first left. I got to go Impact for her.
All right, you really sold that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to go with. I have to say Impact too. I mean,
and I think she can even show up on that first show. I think she might show up on that first pay-per-view for TNA Hard to Kill.
Yeah, because when is it? January 13th?
Yeah, and her contract she's pretty much on 90-day non-compete, so her contract, she'll be able to sign with anywhere on December 20th.
Is it? No, January 14th. No. Or something.
But I think she's going to show up at that pay-per-view.
I'll say.
Because they're going to want it to be the biggest thing that they possibly can. They're going to try to bring in some big names, possibly. Make some debuts, some returns, possibly. So they're going to want that's going to be a big show for them. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think WWE went wrong with her? Do you guys think she could have been a women's champion, even if it was a transitional reign? Do you guys think she could have been a world champion in WWE?
I'm going to be honest. First off, just like Judge said, you sold that. I went in there ready to hate. I was ready to throw some shade at you and be like,
yeah, me too. I was about to.
I was ready to be like,
everybody always
be like, we're talking about Dana Brooke, bro. Like, chill out. But you did have some very good points. You had a good point when you say she puts her all into everything she does, but sometimes your all is not good enough. And I got to be honest, bro. Anytime I heard her speak, I was ready to turn the TV off. I don't think that she should have been anywhere near any world title picture. You could argue that because, we've had Nikki ASH as world champion, but at least she had a character going for her. Dana Brooke, she never had a solid thing to build off of. It was always, well, now you're this. Well, now you're going after the 24/7 title. Well, now you're standing next to Charlotte for 2 weeks. Well, now you're with like Titus O'Neil doing this. It was always a random thing.
And
so
the problem
to her
with
credit,
her
she didn't have time.
It was true
build.
because here's the thing. Now, she was actually in NXT originally, right? And she got called up too early because she wasn't down there for too long. But when she was down there, they had a lot of faith in her because when Asuka first came in, who did they have as her first opponent? They had Dana Brooke be her first opponent. Now I watched the documentary because they used to do like the Breaking Ground series. If you guys remember that, they did a lot of people who came into NXT. She was heavily featured on that show, and she talked about what happened going into her match with Asuka. She suffered a torn triceps injury while training with Asuka in preparation for the match. And instead of actually taking the time off, she decided to still go on and fully do that match because she didn't want to put a lot of people in jeopardy and stuff like that. So she stuck it out, and I gave her respect for that. So I built a respect for her, and it became me being a fan of her. And I think she was brought up too early, and she got paired with Charlotte. Now, apparently, she was going to be a women's champion, but when you brought her up too early, she was botching a lot. She felt a lot out of place with a lot of the moves that she did. So she felt too green. So I feel like that's on WWE's part for bringing her up too early, not allowing her to be in NXT for a little bit longer to help her develop. If she was kept in NXT and let her develop for maybe another 6 months to a year and then bring her up, I guarantee you she would have been probably a bigger star in the WWE Women's Division. So you can't necessarily put all the blame on her. She really never was really given a chance, honestly. If somebody puts a lot of effort and they never get a chance to show their improvement, and all they can do is put them on main event or put them in comedic characters and stuff like that, you can't get behind that. You can't.
And that's what people saw of her, with her, comedic character, like when she was botching a lot, when she wasn't doing that good stuff in the ring, when she couldn't talk on the mic. Yeah, people really saw the the bad sides. But I mean, Leo, you really sold it there on her going to Impact Wrestling. I would say, we all be in agreements for her to go to Impact. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
100%.
I think she's gonna go to Impact, and I think she might be a top star there.
I really do. They do pretty good stuff with their knockouts division,
and they even let them mix it up with the men here and there too. So if she wants to, she can actually mix it up with a few of the guys that are down there too. I remember Tessa Blanchard a couple years ago. She won the world championships, and I'm thinking like maybe if Dana Brooke is pushed the correct way, maybe if it's not the world championship, but she could win that X Division title. I think that would be kind of cool and interesting because we never really seen a woman win a men's championship in so long. So I think that would kind of be very refreshing, and then it would definitely set the world of wrestling on fire for sure.
Yeah, so we will show you so this is our final tier list right here of final decisions there. I think it looks pretty good. You guys like it?
Yeah, I like it, man.
I don't see WWE though.
What's that? Oh yeah, there's WWE. There we go. Now we got all of them. Yeah. So we got Dolph Ziggler, going back to WWE. We got AEW Ring of Honor. We got Shelton Benjamin. We got Mansoor and who was the other guy? Mansoor and
Massey.
Yeah, we got both of them going to Impact as a tag team. We got Tennille Dashwood going to Impact. We got Dana Brooke going to Impact. We got
A.K.A. Ashley Sabrera. I think that's the name she's probably going to go by, Ashley Sabrera.
New Japan, we said Matt Riddle. Or what was his name on the Indies? I can't.
No, I think he always been called Matt Riddle.
Oh yeah, he's always been called Matt Riddle. And then Elias going to NWA. No one for MLW, and then on the Indies we got Mustafa Ali and who was that? Was that Riddick Moss?
Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss. And then nowhere we got Dabba-Kato. We got Rick Boogs, Shinky, and Top Dollar or Flop Dollar, as Leo likes to say. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good list there.
I think that's a pretty good list, honestly, when we really think about it. I was reluctant to make a change here. I was going to say maybe Rick Boogs goes to MLW because I think they don't really have big, talent there, or like people that could bring in ratings for them. I think Rick Boogs just has the physique that they could be looking for like a main event or a mid card champion.
I think I would still keep him in nowhere. To be
Okay,
honest, yeah,
okay.
he just looks like he could sell me a car or something,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
or
I
sell
mean,
sell me
these
some
people,
insurance.
they'll get a good job somewhere else. Maybe it's not wrestling, but they'll get a job somewhere else.
Yeah, but that is the end of the video, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, where do you guys think these guys and gals should end up in your opinions? Like I said, you'll be seeing more of me on their channels. They'll be on my channels and stuff like that. We got some videos that I'm trying to plan up, some live streams, whether if it's for Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views and stuff like that. So definitely I'll be on the lookout for that in the near future. But I'm gonna leave all their socials down in the description below. I will be dropping this video soon, so y'all guys stay tuned. This is just some of us that are here. Some of them, the other two, weren't able to make it here tonight. So you'll definitely, hopefully, get to see them in our future videos. But you guys got anything else to share before we head out?
Not really, man. It was a pleasure. Happy to get to meet you guys. It's my first time actually speaking to you guys. You guys are really chill. Excited for this. Excited for everything we're about to do and accomplish within the YouTube space. And I mean, it was just a pleasure.
Yeah, like subscribe to all of our channels. Like, comment. Go follow us on all of our social medias. Leo and I are on our way to 700 subscribers. So I don't know how we're not at 700. How we're not at 1,000.
I'm 15 away. I'm 15 away.
Same here. I'm right with you, Leo. And you definitely go subscribe to Hayden's channel. Definitely subscribe to him.
Of course.
So check out his backyard wrestling stuff he does. And with that being said, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.
Peace.
Sweet.